What if the secret to achieving your biggest dreams, your most ambitious goals, isn't a secret at all?
Hmm.
What if it's not about some brilliant, flashy overnight breakthrough that you can buy for, 19.99 online?
Right.
But instead, it's something slow, incredibly repetitive, and perhaps the most challenging part of all, something remarkably boring.
That is the truly profound question at the heart of our deep dive today.
Mhm.
We are taking aim directly at this modern obsession with instant gratification.
The quick fixes, the shortcut stuff.
Exactly. The overnight miracles, you see the ads everywhere promising these extraordinary results with, like, no effort.
Oh, constantly make $200,000 working 2 hours a day.
Lose 30 pounds in a week with no exercise needed. I mean, that whole ecosystem, it thrives on our impatience.
And honestly, we keep falling for it because the promise of ease is just so seductive.
It is.
But our focus today is entirely on one book that meticulously cuts through all that noise, providing an evidence-based roadmap for real success. Darren Hardy's The Compound Effect.
And our mission today is pretty straightforward. We're going to extract the basic timeless fundamentals from Hardy's work.
Okay.
We're going to explain them deeply and simply using clear language, powerful examples, so that anyone, regardless of their background or where they are right now, can immediately understand and apply them to fundamentally change their life's trajectory.
And the core definition is where we have to start because it sounds almost, too simple to be true.
It does.
The compound effect is the idea that small, smart choices made consistently over time equals radical transformation.
Exactly. It's a mathematical certainty.
Right.
But we have to make that critical distinction right now. For you, the listener, this is a simple formula.
Right.
But you absolutely must not mistake simple for easy.
That's a good point.
Simple means it's uncomplicated. Easy means effortless. This system requires effort.
I appreciate that warning. And Hardy, he isn't just selling theory here. He built his career on these principles. He lived them, he tested them for over 2 decades. He spent years not just studying top achievers, but actually working with them, interviewing the world's best minds.
And distilling the essence of success from, thousands of books on personal development and business leadership.
Right. And he realized something.
Yeah, he realized there are no hidden tricks. As his mentor, Jim Rohn, often repeated, there are no new fundamentals. Truth is not new, it's old. The principles we're discussing today are timeless, just like gravity is timeless. They work whether you believe in them or not.
So the warning holds. If you're searching for a quick fix or the easy button, this isn't it.
Definitely not.
Success demands patience, discipline, and work. But what this deep dive provides is the precise operator's manual, the system behind everything that truly works. The challenge isn't getting it.
No, the challenge is committing to the consistency required, especially when the results are, invisible.
Okay, let's jump right into that core principle because it really all boils down to that simple math. Small, smart choices, done consistently over time, equals radical transformation. Why is it then, if it's so simple and so mathematically guaranteed, that most people just ignore it?
They ignore it because of the time scale. I mean, in the beginning, that consistency feels like absolutely nothing is happening.
Right.
You start meditating for 10 minutes every morning, and for 2 weeks, your brain feels just as noisy as it ever was.
Or you start going for a jog, and after 8 days, you get on the scale and you look and weigh exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Or you start saving $50 a month, and for 3 years, your investment account looks, frankly, tiny and depressing.
It's that painful stretch of invisible progress that just completely crushes your motivation.
It does.
You put in the work, but there's no immediate feedback loop. People quit because they look at the results and think, this isn't working, it's too slow, I must be doing something wrong.
And they stop right before the transformation begins. The best way to visualize this is through what he calls the planting seeds analogy.
Okay.
When a farmer plants a seed, they don't see results immediately. They're putting in the effort, watering, showing up, tilling the soil, but the entire effort is hidden beneath the surface.
You have to persist during that quiet, silent, invisible stage.
You do.
The frustration is palpable, though. You water that seed every day for months, and the soil looks exactly the same. Meanwhile, other people are trying these flashier techniques,
Oh, yeah. The quick grow miracle nutrients, the instant results.
Yeah.
And you start doubting your simple, consistent process.
Maybe I should try that instead.
Exactly. But under the surface, the compound effect is taking hold. Roots are stabilizing, energy is being stored, and the transformation is building up.
And then
And then Seemingly all of a sudden the growth appears, it breaks the surface, and the massive harvest just blows your mind. The key is maintaining faith and persistence, specifically during that boring, quiet, invisible stage.
To really drive home the danger of choosing instant gratification, we have to detail Hardy's analogy of the magic penny versus the instant $3 million. This clearly illustrates the compounding trap.
It's such a powerful thought experiment.
Yeah.
He offers you a choice. Option 1, take $3 million cash right now. Instant gratification.
Done.
Or option 2, take one single penny that will double in value every single day for 31 days. The compound effect.
And if we're being honest, most people facing real debt or immediate needs, they'd grab that $3 million instantly. It's safe, it's tangible, it's right there.
Of course.
But let's meticulously walk through the penny's journey, because
Yeah.
this shows you where that lack of initial results can make you feel completely crazy.
Okay, so after day 5, the penny is only 16 cents. Your friend who took the $3 million has already bought a nice car.
Right. You're feeling pretty dumb at this point.
Yeah. By day 10, the penny has climbed to $5.12. Your friend is genuinely laughing at you for picking the penny.
And even by day 20, you've put in nearly 3 weeks of consistent doubling, and the penny is finally worth just over $5,000.
Which is still nowhere near the $3 million.
This, I think, is the most crucial takeaway from this whole breakdown. Day 20 is the moment where we quit.
Yes.
That's the point in the diet where we say, I've been working out for 3 weeks and nothing has changed. That's the point in the business venture where you say, I've been hustling for a month and I've barely made $5,000. It's boring and it looks like failure.
And that's the absolute deception of compounding. Because the doubling occurs on the total amount, the growth rate is accelerating exponentially, even though those initial gains are microscopic. The tipping point is about to happen.
So we cross that invisible threshold and the growth suddenly becomes blindingly visible.
Yes.
Because the base is now large enough to multiply dramatically.
Precisely. We jump forward just a week. On day 29, the penny finally turns into $2.7 million.
Okay, you've almost caught up, but you're still slightly behind the immediate cash offer.
Still behind. But then, day 30, everything changes. The penny hits $5.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then on day 31, that tiny, ridiculed penny explodes into a fortune of $10,737,418.24.
Wow. You didn't just catch up, you blew past the instant gratification choice by over $7 million.
Mm-hmm.
And the insight here is profound. All that massive wealth was created in the last 2 days of the month.
The last 2 days. The growth was massive, but it only happens after that very long period of seemingly tiny, boring results that almost made you quit back on day 20.
And that principle plays out every day in real life, which brings us to the powerful story of the 3 friends, Larry, Scott, and Brad.
Right. 3 ordinary men, same neighborhood, similar income, around 50 grand a year, average health, and maybe just a little complacent.
So we established Larry as the control group. He just keeps living life as he always has, makes no major changes, stays stuck in the middle.
Yep. Scott, meanwhile, decides to commit to tiny, consistent, smart choices. He starts reading just 10 pages of a good self-improvement book a day.
Just 10 pages.
He listens to 30 minutes of educational or motivational audio during his commute. And importantly, he cuts just 125 calories from his daily diet.
Which is nothing. That's a soda. Or skipping the mayo on your sandwich.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Consistent, tiny, and absolutely not drastic.
And Brad is on the opposite trajectory. He introduces what Hardy calls simple errors in judgment.
Mm-hmm.
He buys a big screen TV, which naturally leads to more time binge watching. He starts enjoying these rich, cheesy, creamy recipes he sees on TV.
And he adds 1 extra drink a week to his routine. Again, these are small indulgences, nothing extreme enough to cause alarm right away.
Right, it's not like he started drinking a bottle of wine a night.
Exactly. So for the first 10 months of this study, there is zero noticeable difference between the 3 friends. They all look and feel the same.
Larry is stuck, Scott is boringly consistent, and Brad is having a slightly better time with his new food and TV. This is where most self-help books lose us.
It is.
So how does reading 10 pages a day translate into material success over time? This is where we need to delve into the implications of Scott's habits. It's not just about the knowledge, is it?
Not at all. It's the application and the confidence. Over 31 months, Scott read about 31 books worth of material. That cumulative knowledge, drawn from all these different experts, it improved his confidence, his vocabulary, his understanding of leadership and business strategy.
So he starts applying concepts in meetings.
Right, he spoke with more authority, he was more present because he felt healthier.
Okay, so by month 31, we see the results. Brad has gained 33.5 pounds, and Scott has lost 33.5 pounds.
A staggering 67-pound swing between two people who started in the exact same place.
And the math is guaranteed, isn't it?
It is. 125 calories difference over 940 days is 117,500 total calories, which mathematically equates to exactly 33.5 pounds. But look beyond the weight. Scott, armed with nearly 1,000 hours of absorbed knowledge and improved energy, earned a significant promotion and a raise. Why? Because he simply became a better, more prepared employee.
As marriage.
It's thriving. He's more energized. He's more present. Brad, however, is sluggish, unhappy at work, struggling financially, and his marriage is deteriorating.
And this rapid decline often spirals because of what Hardy calls the muffin ripple effect.
Yes, so
One small, seemingly innocent choice doesn't just affect one area of your life. It sends ripples everywhere, often destroying things far beneath the surface.
Brad starts baking those delicious, creamy muffins. Innocent, right?
It's not harmless.
But the extra sugar and poor nutrition make him sluggish. Sluggishness leads to poor sleep quality. Waking up groggy makes him cranky, irritable, and it affects his ability to focus at work.
Which creates stress.
His discouraged performance at work creates stress. Stress makes him seek comfort. And guess what he reaches for?
More muffins.
More muffins. It's a destructive feedback loop. And the ripple keeps moving outward into his most important relationship.
Because he lacks energy and is spending more time on the couch watching his new TV, he stops taking those evening walks with his wife.
Right. Their conversation shrinks from quality time to just transactional talk. Did you pay the bill? What's for dinner?
Their connection weakens. She starts feeling lonely and distant.
And here's the tragic irony. Brad gets confused, frustrated, and starts blaming his wife or his job for his unhappiness.
And he fails to realize the entire downward spiral started with those tiny, innocent choices, the extra calories, the increased screen time, that compounded into severe marital and career struggles.
So how do we interrupt a ripple effect like that once it's started? Because sometimes we look up and realize we're deep into the consequences, but we can't trace the source back to that initial muffin choice.
That's where awareness comes in. You have to identify the first tiny domino. If you suspect a negative ripple is happening, you have to consciously trace back the causes, and often you find the root is a choice you're making automatically, not deliberately.
So for Brad, the interruption means identifying the sleep issue, tracing it back to the sugar, and replacing the muffin habit with something positive immediately. We have to understand, the compound effect is always running, either for you or against you.
The profound realization that everything in our lives, our job, our health, our finances, our most cherished habits, exists because of a choice we made at some point. It's almost frightening.
It is.
Choices are truly the fundamental building blocks of destiny.
They are the absolute foundation. We have to define the mechanism here. Every single choice you make, no matter how small, it initiates a behavior.
Right.
That behavior, when you repeat it, becomes a habit. And over time, your habits relentlessly shape your destiny. That's why we have to internalize that critical quote. You make your choices, but then your choices make you.
But if choices are so foundational, why do we constantly make choices that contradict our goals? If I want to lose weight, why do I grab the donut? If I want to save money, why do I buy the unnecessary gadget?
Because the biggest challenge isn't making big, bad, deliberate choices. I mean, if you deliberately drove your car into a ditch, you'd know immediately how to fix it. The problem is that most people are sleepwalking through their invisible choices. They're just automatic reactions based on old programming, cultural norms, or an outdated upbringing.
Nobody consciously wakes up and says, you know what, I want to be $100,000 in debt.
No.
Yeah.
That unintended consequence happens because of a series of small, unconscious, poor choices.
Yeah.
One $4 coffee here, one skip workout there, one too many impulse purchases.
We weren't intentional, and the compound effect multiplied those small errors dramatically.
It's the accumulation of the small stuff that gets us. This brings us to a metaphor that really grounds this idea. Mosquitoes versus elephants.
Okay.
I can almost guarantee you have never been fatally bitten by an elephant.
No, but I have certainly been bitten, annoyed, and potentially sickened by a mosquito.
It's a brilliant comparison because it illustrates that it's not the massive, catastrophic mistakes, the elephants, that derail most people's lives.
Right.
It's the small, frequent, seemingly insignificant choices, the mosquitoes. They pile up unnoticed and slowly destroy your progress.
Think about it. Who really intends to spend an entire evening scrolling mindlessly?
No one.
No one. But that small choice, checking your phone for just a minute, is a mosquito bite that takes 2 hours of your focus away from your professional development.
Or one small, unnecessary lie in a conversation. One extra slice of pizza because, it's already cut. These are the habits we let slip because they feel harmless in isolation.
When you're on autopilot, unaware, the compound effect is working relentlessly against you.
It is.
And if you are making unconscious choices, you have absolutely no control over the outcome until you bring awareness to them.
And that awareness requires a fundamental shift in mindset, owning 100% of our lives.
Right. We're culturally conditioned to believe success, marriage, or teamwork is 50-50.
But Hardy learned this crucial lesson at a seminar early in his career. If you want true success and stability, you must be willing to give 100% responsibility with zero expectation of receiving anything in return.
So it's not 50-50, it's 1,000.
Exactly. If you leave your success to external chance or habitually blame others, your life will always feel unstable and outside of your control.
This is an incredibly liberating idea, but it's difficult to practice. It means stopping the deeply ingrained habit of blaming outside forces.
Oh yeah, the bad economy, the heavy traffic, your difficult boss, the slow printer, a challenging childhood.
When you blame the traffic for being late, you are handing over your power to an external event you can't control. You are saying, the world controls my schedule.
Right. But when you take 100% ownership, you realize you made the choice to leave too late.
And when you take full ownership, you instantly hold the power to change your destiny. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the author of your choices.
Jim Rohn synthesized this perfectly. He said, "The day you graduate from childhood to adulthood is the day you take full responsibility for your life." That means accepting that all your current results, good or bad, are a direct consequence of your past choices.
On that note of external forces, people often like to blame a lack of luck for their struggles.
All the time.
They see successful people and assume they were simply born lucky or they won the genetic lottery. But Hardy argues that luck, too, is formulaic.
It is. Luck isn't some magical random occurrence reserved for the elite. Richard Branson, when he was asked about being lucky, he famously said that luck chooses everyone. The difference is that when luck came his way, he was prepared to take advantage of it.
Luck is entirely useless if you're not ready to act on it.
Exactly.
So if luck is something we can engineer, let's explicitly lay out the complete formula for getting lucky.
It's a four-part sequential process. First, preparation. This is where the compound effect really starts. You have to build your skills, your knowledge, and your readiness daily.
If you're Scott, you're reading those 10 pages and listening to the audio.
Exactly. As Arnold Palmer, one of the luckiest golfers ever, said, "The more I practice, the luckier I get." He understood consistency creates readiness.
Second is attitude. You have to possess an internal belief that luck and opportunity are all around you. If you walk through life expecting bad things, you won't recognize the good things when they appear.
It's about maintaining a positive filter. Third is opportunity. Luck whispers, it doesn't shout. Opportunities show up unannounced, often disguised as problems or hard work.
Will you be ready to see it when it appears?
And finally, the most critical step that separates the successful from the dreamers, action.
Opportunities are worthless without immediate, decisive action. That's why we've heard of Richard Branson, who acted decisively on every opportunity.
But we haven't heard of, Joseph Wallington, the unknown person who was just as lucky, but failed to act on the lucky opportunities that came his way.
Luck chooses everyone, but only the prepared and decisive choose luck back.
We are, at our core, creatures of habit. Aristotle was right when he said, we are what we repeatedly do.
A habit is simply a behavior done so often that it becomes automatic, saving our brain's precious decision-making energy.
This is why small choices compound. They quickly become automatic habits.
Yeah.
And that's where we need to introduce the sapling analogy to emphasize timing. A new habit, whether it's good or bad, is like a tiny sapling. It's easy to pull out if it's a negative one.
You can just yank it right out of the ground.
Right. But an old habit, practiced for years, is like a massive rooted oak tree. It's practically impossible to remove quickly or without significant effort and pain.
So the fundamental lesson is simple. Address bad habits when they are small and pliable.
Yes. And success truly isn't about being the most talented person in the room. It's about being the most habitual. I love the example of Larry Bird.
Oh, yeah.
By all accounts, he wasn't the most naturally athletic player, but his habit shooting 500 free throws every single morning before school, that's what consistently compounded his skill and turned him into a champion.
That relentless consistency builds an unparalleled reservoir of competence. But consistency requires serious, sustained fuel.
And that fuel cannot be willpower.
No.
Willpower is finite. It fades the moment you get lazy, tired, uncomfortable, or stressed. What you need is an infinite power source, which Hardy calls why power.
Why power doesn't rely on brute force discipline, it pulls you forward. It's what keeps you going when your discipline runs completely dry.
But the why has to be connected to something emotionally charged, deep, and meaningful.
The quintessential illustration of this difference is the 100-story plank analogy.
So powerful.
Ask yourself, would you walk a narrow 10-inch wide plank between 200-story buildings for $20?
Of course not. The risk of death is not worth $20. Now, imagine that the building you are standing on is on fire,
Okay.
and your child is standing on the other side.
You wouldn't hesitate. You wouldn't even think about the plank's narrowness. You would run across.
The circumstance didn't change, the risk didn't change, the physics didn't change, the why changed. Your life's biggest challenges become insignificant when your why is strong enough.
That strong why is what makes everything possible. It's the driving force behind consistent action.
This just circles back to a crucial point about fulfillment. Money and material goals alone aren't enough to be a sustainable why.
Right. As Tony Robbins succinctly put it, success without fulfillment is failure.
Exactly. The why must be connected to growth, contribution, love, or family to sustain true, deep persistence over decades.
So, we've established that 95% of our daily actions are habits. We need actionable tools to fight back against the negative ones we acquired unconsciously. Hardy gives us 5 powerful strategies for eliminating bad habits.
The first step requires immediate awareness. Identify triggers. You have to figure out the specific cues, the who, what, where, and when that cause the habit to show up.
Does the craving for sweets hit only when you sit on the couch after dinner? Do you waste time scrolling only when you're standing in line?
Identifying the specific time and location is awareness step 1. Next, we need to bypass willpower entirely by cleaning house. Remove temptation.
This is non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable. If you want to stop drinking, you must eliminate all alcohol and barware from the house. If you want to stop overspending, unsubscribe from shopping emails and put the credit card in a block of ice. Don't rely on your willpower when you are weak. Make failure logistically hard and success easy.
Third, swap it. You need to find a healthier alternative that satisfies the same sensory or emotional itch. If you crave the creamy texture of ice cream, maybe you substitute it with 2 pieces of dark chocolate. If you crave the crunch and saltiness of chips, swap them for crunchy carrots or celery sticks.
It's not about elimination. It's about redirection. Strategy 4, ease in. For deeply rooted physical habits like reliance on caffeine or sugar, tapering off slowly works better than cold turkey shock.
Okay.
Gradually introduce 50% decaf, then switch entirely to decaf over a week or 2. Ease your brain into the change to prevent massive backlash and burnout.
And number 5, jump in. Sometimes you simply need a bold, cold turkey leap. This is best for emotional habits that require a clean break.
Think of the water skiing analogy. You dread plunging into the freezing water, but once you make the leap, you acclimate quickly and have a blast. You must decide if the habit requires a slow taper or an immediate break based on your personal response to change.
Now let's pivot and discuss the positive side. The 6 powerful techniques for planting and reinforcing good habits so they stick and compound quickly.
Technique 1 is all about environment. Set yourself up to succeed. If you want to exercise, join a gym 5 minutes away, not 30 miles.
Right. Lay your workout clothes out the night before.
If you want to eat healthily, stock your fridge exclusively with good options, making the bad choice require a deliberate trip to the store.
Technique 2 is a mental framing trick. Think addition, not subtraction.
I love this one.
Too often we focus on what we are sacrificing, the chocolate, the TV time. Instead, focus on what you are adding, healthy energy, new knowledge, quality time with your kids.
Shift your mindset from sacrifice and lack to abundance and growth. Third, go public. Announce your goals to family, friends, or even social media.
That external accountability adds a layer of pressure that makes you far more likely to stay disciplined, even on the days you don't feel like it.
For sure. No one wants to publicly announce failure. Fourth, find a success buddy. This should be a peak performance partner, like the one Darren Hardy uses, for weekly check-ins on wins, losses, and challenges.
They keep you sharp, hold you accountable, and provide valuable perspective when you hit a wall.
5. Competition and camaraderie. Use friendly competition to motivate effort. We've seen challenges for step counts, reading lists, or sales quotas.
People who never exercised start walking 5 miles a day just because of the fun and the desire to beat their friends.
Harnessing that human competitive drive is so powerful. And finally, 6. Celebrate every win. Success has to feel rewarding along the way, or you'll lose steam during that invisible period of progress.
Right.
Give yourself daily or weekly rewards, a relaxing bath, an hour with a favorite hobby, a nice dinner. These celebrations are necessary fuel to keep going until the big reward appears at the finish line.
To ensure those good habits stick and compound effectively, we need to introduce the secret weapon strategy that brings everything into sharp focus: tracking or maintaining a scorecard.
You cannot manage or change what you are not aware of. It's impossible.
Hmm.
Tracking works because it forces you to stay conscious of every single decision, instantaneously transforming invisible choices into visible data.
And this willingness to do the small, tedious task of tracking is what separates successful people from the unsuccessful.
Yes.
Hardy tells a fantastic story about his own money trap in his early 20s. He was successful, making high-level income, but he was shocked to find out he owed over $100,000 in taxes.
Because he had absolutely no idea where his money went.
None. It had simply slipped through his fingers via thousands of small, unconscious decisions.
So his accountant gave him this crucial task: carry a small notebook and write down every single cent he spent for 30 days.
He was horrified by what he saw. He realized he was hemorrhaging cash on stupid, meaningless purchases.
But the act of tracking built an immediate discipline. He didn't buy frivolous things he could afford just because he didn't want to have to pull out the notebook and admit he'd spent money on something ridiculous.
That slight pause, the moment between the impulse and the commitment to writing it down, that is awareness in action.
That's it right there. The scorecard makes you aware of the cumulative cost. And this strategy isn't just for money. It works for diet, exercise, sales calls, time spent learning, anything you want to improve.
So the challenge we pose to you is to track just one habit for 21 days.
Just one.
That's the minimum time frame to start creating those new brain grooves. The tracking forces you to confront the reality of your choices.
And tracking highlights the terrifying cost of small errors.
Yeah.
Let's revisit the $4 coffee example. You feel good drinking that coffee today, and $4 seems harmless.
Right.
But tracking forces you to confront the fact that $4 a day, compounded and invested over 20 years, is costing you over $51,833.79.
Wow. Enough for a luxury car or a down payment on a house.
That is the power of tracking. It overcomes the human psychological barrier of delayed gratification. Most people prioritize the small, immediate comfort, the coffee now, over the huge, delayed reward, the 51K car later.
Tracking brings the future cost into the present moment, making it visible and painful enough to trigger a change in behavior.
Once we have awareness, consistency, and a foundation of good habits, we can invite in the true multiplier. Big Mo or momentum?
This is the invisible force that changes everything and makes success feel, well, inevitable.
Big Mo is physics applied to life. It's based on the law of inertia. Objects at rest stay at rest. Objects in motion stay in motion.
It explains why couch potatoes struggle to move, and achievers just keep achieving effortlessly. Once you have momentum, small actions yield massive results.
Let's use the merry-go-round analogy to illustrate the difficulty starting. The initial push is agonizingly hard.
Oh yeah, you're straining, groaning, struggling just to get it moving an inch.
But once it starts spinning, keeping it going is almost effortless. A small, regular nudge here and there is enough to maintain maximum speed.
Or consider the rocket ship analogy. The rocket leaves the majority of its fuel, maybe 90%, just escaping gravity's pull.
That struggle is the hardest part. Breaking free from old habits, overcoming years of inertia, and establishing new routines.
But once it's in orbit, it glides effortlessly, requiring only small, regular bursts of fuel to maintain its trajectory.
Momentum makes success feel easier because you are no longer fighting gravity.
But momentum is fragile. It's easily destroyed by inconsistency, which brings us to the pump well analogy.
Right. Imagine an old-fashioned well. You pump furiously to get the water rising. But if you stop pumping for too long,
The water drops right back down to the bottom.
and you have to start that furious, exhausting pumping all over again just to get a few drops.
Inconsistency is a killer. Stop and go behavior drains your energy, saps your motivation, and just destroys Big Mo.
Consistency keeps the water to your results flowing freely.
And consistency is what keeps Big Mo on your side, and the structure that maintains that consistency is world-class routines. We can't control the chaos in the middle of the day,
No chance.
but we can completely control the beginning and the end. That is the bookends strategy.
Think about military boot camp. Soldiers are drilled on small routines, making the bed, polishing boots, not because those tasks are inherently important, but because those routines build discipline under conditions of chaos and stress.
We need that same discipline.
We do.
So let's detail a world-class morning routine, starting with the 8-minute mind reset. You need to claim the first minutes of your day before the world claims you.
Right when that alarm goes off, spend 8 focused minutes on 3 powerful mindset exercises before you even touch your phone.
Okay, what are they?
First, gratitude, shifting your focus to abundance and appreciation. Second, send love to someone, attracting positivity and connection. And third, focus on your #1 goal, planning 3 actions for it.
And then?
Follow that with movement stretching while the coffee brews and 30 minutes of focused reading. Mind fuel, not mindless news consumption.
Immediately following that routine is the calibration appointment, setting your top 3 MVPs, most valuable priorities for the day.
And this happens before you open email or look at social media. You have to spend time on the big goals before chaos and distractions hijack your schedule.
That small 15-minute routine guarantees you move your most important tasks forward.
And the evening routine is equally vital, the cashing out process. Review what you accomplished, note what went wrong, and journal ideas and insights into a treasure chest for future use.
And crucially, feed the mind something positive before sleep.
Yes. 10 pages of inspirational or educational reading. If you watch the news or doom scrolling before bed, your subconscious works on those negative ideas all night. You need to program your subconscious for success while you rest.
The compound effect is often seen as slow and steady, but it's crucial to realize that it also allows for moments of acceleration, where you push just a little bit harder than everyone else to achieve an exponential leap in results.
This acceleration happens at the moment of truth, the precise point where your muscles scream, your lungs burn, and your mind wants desperately to quit.
This moment is painful because it's where character is revealed, not built. Most people stop when they hit discomfort.
Right. But high achievers know that discomfort is the signal that growth is about to happen, and they press on.
The narrative of Lance Armstrong during the 1999 Tour de France illustrates this beautifully. On a brutal mountain climb, freezing rain, hail, exhaustion, he was 32 seconds behind his competitor. He was suffering just like everyone else.
But instead of quitting, he made a conscious choice to turn suffering into an advantage. He looked up, he saw his competitors hurting just as badly, and rather than slowing down, he surged forward.
That decision, that few seconds of extra painful effort, is what separated him from the pack and allowed him to pull ahead.
He didn't win the race on the sunny, easy days. He won it in that moment of maximum pain when everyone else mentally checked out.
It's the weight training analogy, isn't it? The first 12 reps get you to your physiological limit, but the real growth and multiplication happen in the extra 3 to 5 reps after you hit the wall.
You're competing against your own expectation of what you are capable of enduring.
And this small extra effort has a shocking multiplier effect. Let's go back to the magic penny.
Okay.
Remember, that penny doubled for 31 days and resulted in $10 million. But if you added just one extra doubling per week, 4 extra bursts of effort over the 31 days, the result wouldn't be $10 million.
It would skyrocket to $171 million.
That is nearly $161 million in difference for 4 small, intentional accelerations.
Wow.
That shows the sheer power of doing slightly more than expected.
This is the principle of exceeding expectations applied to effort. Always deliver more than expected, not just in business, but in life, because it compounds trust, reputation, and goodwill exponentially.
We see this with legendary business figures. Think about the famous Oprah Winfrey segment where she gave away 1 car, but then immediately followed up by giving every single audience member a car.
That unexpected wow factor didn't just double her goodwill, it multiplied her brand loyalty and trust across the globe.
And it applies to personal relationships, too. Hardy tells the story of proposing to his wife. He could have just asked her father for his blessing, which is standard.
Right, the expected thing to do.
But he went beyond. He delivered his proposal request to the father, in the father's native Portuguese, and he called all 5 of his brothers-in-law to ask for their blessings individually.
That extra, unexpected effort compounded his respect and standing with his entire new family.
To stand out in our modern, attention-deficit world, Common actions lead to common results. Extraordinary results require being a contrarian or zagging when others zig.
Absolutely. Zagging is about ingenuity and boldness. Instead of sending standard, cluttered Christmas cards, send Thanksgiving cards and handwrite personal notes.
It catches people completely off guard and creates a bigger emotional impact precisely because it's unexpected.
Hmm. Richard Branson is the master of this. Flying a hot air balloon, driving a tank through Times Square for marketing, that grabs attention far more effectively than a standard press release.
It's the multiplier effect applied to marketing.
Sometimes boldness, guts, and creativity are required just to get noticed. Think of crafting a shock and awe campaign for your dream job interview.
Like what?
Flying across the country instead of taking a video call, researching the interviewer's hobbies, and sending a small gift related to it, and following up with an unexpected, personalized presentation on the company's future.
You risk being perceived as unconventional?
But you dramatically increase your chances of capturing the attention of the decision makers. Extraordinary results often require extraordinary effort and ingenuity just to separate yourself from the average.
Okay, let's unpack this entire deep dive and bring it home. The compound effect isn't a secret formula reserved for the talented few.
No.
It's a simple, undeniable system of relentless consistency. You are right now the sum total of your choices, and you have the power to consciously steer big momentum either for you or against you.
The knowledge we've discussed is now yours, but knowledge in itself is powerless without execution. Success is not a result of luck or fleeting motivation. It is a direct result of disciplined, consistent effort.
You need to commit to one small, smart choice now.
That's all it takes to start planting the seed and initiating the ripple effect.
The compounding never stops. Now that we've looked back at the story of the three friends and seen the dramatic difference 5 years of small choices made, we need to look forward. We want to leave you with one provocative thought to mull over as you transition back into your day.
What single small choice will you commit to daily, starting today, so that 5 years from now, your future self will look back and thank you profoundly for changing your entire life trajectory?
Remember, the compound effect is always running, whether you are aware of it or not. The decision to plant seeds for success begins right now, in this moment, not tomorrow morning.
Thank you for diving deep with us into the mechanics of lasting success.
Don't stop suddenly. Let your current momentum carry you forward. If this deep dive stirred something in you, take the next step. Subscribe and stay tuned for more conversations that spark change, giving you the detailed knowledge you need to succeed. We'll talk again soon.